Okay. Hi, guys. Awesome. Awesome. We are going to let you guys have just a minute to join, and then we're going to jump right in. Super excited for you guys to be here today. We are on day 2 of the Netflix micro series training, and this is probably the most exciting part of all because we will be talking about how I have developed a proprietary method leveraging Netflix methodology and Netflix inspired methodology to turn cold leads into hot raving fan clients in under 7 days. So I'm super excited to have you guys here. What we're going to do is just like yesterday, if you were here yesterday, we're going to start with the training. And then at the end, I'll open up the opportunity to ask questions, to learn more about what this looks like applying to you. At any given point during the time, you can drop into the chat with any questions you might have. And Christina, who's helping me here today, and myself will get back to you in there. As you're hopping on, I'd love to hear where you guys are from, just because I love seeing people from all over the world. I have clients like literally from Australia to Africa, so it's super cool to see people. So pop into the comments and let me know where you guys are watching from today. That's number 1. Number 2 is I would love to hear from you, and drop a 1 in the comments if you were able to catch day 1, whether that was live or on replay. And just really quickly, because I had probably hundreds of emails from you guys saying that the link for the morning call didn't work. We will resend the correct link. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. They made it private, even though we didn't have it private. So here we are. I'm so excited to see all of your guys' faces. And right before we jump into start talking about day 2, I wanted to give you guys an example of what it looks like to leverage proprietary methodology in literally your day-to-day life. So a couple weeks ago, we had a backup in our downstairs bathroom. And of course, what do? You go look for the nearest plumber to call, right? So if you've ever hired a plumber before, you know what a frustrating experience it can be. You go look for the plumber, you might go and price out 3 different ones, and then you sit there waiting for the plumber to show up. Like, hands up in the comments if you've ever had to do this and you know the struggle of hiring a plumber and how frustrating that can be. So we went through that same experience, and we were sitting here trying to go and hire a plumber. And I went and looked down the whole list of them. I called one. When they answered the phone, they said, we have a complete method for how we actually support our clients better. So in the first second, they hooked me. What their method was is they found the gap in the market was people hated hiring plumbers because they knew they had to wait for them to come show up. There was this long process and they didn't know what they were getting out of it. And you'd have to maybe even wait days for them to come, right? So they shifted this process and said, what we do here is instead, we actually have it where you have a plumber that comes out today. So you don't have to wait multiple days. You get a plumber that comes out today. And rather than you sitting and waiting around for the plumber to show up, we'll text you several times throughout the day to let you know how far away we are. So not only did they do a check-in, but they did multiple check-ins along the way to do this. Guess what this changed? I didn't even look at any other options. I didn't go price out different plumbers. I was so sold and hooked on this because the experience of that and then filling the gap of the problem that you're always waiting for the plumber, you don't know what time they're coming, you're on their schedule, and instead did this. So I not only did I get to hire a plumber who I didn't care how much it cost because it saved me time, right? So me being the premium client, I was purchasing into the idea of I don't have to deal with this crap that you usually do with plumbers. And from there, I went and shouted their names from the rooftop and told everyone else about it. So this is literally as an example of proprietary methodology in play. They discovered what the gap in the market was, the thing that people were so frustrated over, and they literally created a method to resolve that so that people would be lining up saying, oh my gosh, this is who I want to work with. And then people would shout their names from the rooftop. So I wanted to share that experience with you because I realized yesterday after our call, I would love to tell you guys about what this actually looks like in a real life experience, okay? So if you missed yesterday, we talked all about proprietary methodology, why that is the answer to you actually being able to enroll premium clients consistently in your business and have them lining up to work with you. It's the answer to creating instant credibility online, no longer competing for visibility in the online space, and being able to 5 to 10x your prices and have people happily pay this. As I mentioned, I have 400 clients who have gone through this exact process and literally went from charging $27, $97, $197, all the way to starting to charge 5, 10, 15K for their offers, and people lining up to work with them. Meaning they're not showing up on social media everywhere. They're not doing tons of exhausting live launches or webinars. People are coming to them and people are shouting their names from the rooftop because they can clearly communicate their value, which means their message is repeatable. Okay. So that was day one. Drop day one in the comments if you guys have been able to catch up on day one, whether that was live or on replay. Want to make sure you guys understand that, because if you don't know this about me, everything is compounding. And if you don't know how day one works, what I'm going to tell you here today is going to sound like a foreign language. Okay, good. I'm saying a lot of day ones. No shame if you didn't see it. This may not make perfect sense to you, because what we're doing is taking what we talked about in day one and amplifying it in day two. Okay. Also, you heard me yesterday talk about the fact that we have limited pathway calls. We had half a dozen people book pathway calls yesterday, and I opened up a few more spots on my calendar for Friday and Monday. If you are someone who's like, oh my gosh, I want to start bringing in premium clients being the only solution in my industry, I want to invite you to jump on and request a call, because once these book, I won't have any more available calls to chat with you about this. So I'll show you exactly what it looks like to apply this in your business and how I can support you in becoming the only go-to solution in your industry using this Netflix inspired methodology. So anywhere during the next couple of days, you guys want to do this, drop in and let me know, call in the comments, and myself or Christina will reach out to you to get you all set up. Okay. Now that we've gone over that, I want to move in quickly to get into all the fun things. This is the workbook for day two. You're going to see it here. Make sure you guys have this handy. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to understand. Once we have proprietary methodology, it's not a one-step process, right? It's 3 steps. The 3 days we're going over the 3 steps that you need to have. So day one, we talked about that proprietary methodology, having the messaging and the positioning that makes you the undeniable only solution in your industry, where no one can compare you, just like that plumber I told you, where there was no comparison. I would absolutely pay again. I would never question the price around it, okay? Now, day two, what we're talking about here is we need to have a repeatable, evergreen, and organic client acquisition system to convert cold leads into hot buyers in under 7 days. Okay. We want to consistently be booking calls with pre-sold clients. And then tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you what I call my fan frenzy framework that turns your clients into those raving fans, just like they did in this plumber example that I had. So I want you to imagine for a minute. Okay. Just take a quick second to think about this. And I know this is really hard because maybe you've been doing all these different things. I want you to imagine for a second that you have an incredible Netflix inspired miniseries and you are out to dinner with your friends, or you're sitting by the pool, lounging with your family, and all of a sudden you hear a ding. Okay. The ding is that Jill just booked an appointment with you. And you're like, oh, awesome. I just got a new appointment booked. Didn't do anything, wasn't on social media, wasn't doing anything. And shortly after, you hear another ding. Now, Jill has just DM'd you because she's saying, I booked a call for next week, but I'm so excited and I know that I want to work with you because your methodology makes so much sense. Is there any way we can chat sooner? If this sounds like a dream to you, drop dream in the comments. But this is exactly what happens to myself and my clients. Messages on a regular basis from clients saying, I already know I want to work with you. I just want to hop on a call to ask a few questions, to get a few questions answered, see what program is the right fit for you. You don't want to be hustling, chasing, trying to find clients all the time. And whether you're doing live launches or webinars or anything like that, you're in this constant mode of needing to chase. This is a live launch, right? And I'm going to actually share with you why these are not my sole source of income. And I don't rely on these. I do these just for additional authority building. And why I stepped away from these in the majority of my business, because they're exhausting. There's a lot that goes into it. So I want to be really quickly tell you the story of when I first started in my business. I was testing tactic after tactic. I was drowning in my business because I was going live 2 to 3 times a week. I was creating 3 pieces of content a day. I was trying to get into every single group and try to start conversations. I spent all my time just having DM conversations and moving people along. Now, as I grew, I did more live launches, more things like this, but it was still exhausting. I felt like I had no repeatable system, and one month could be great and the next month could be terrible. I call these that revenue roller coaster, right? So if you've ever been in that, drop roller coaster in the comments, because I know what it feels like to go from here to here. I had a client recently come to me who makes 7 figures in her business. And she said to me, she said, Naz, one live launch could make me $100,000 and the next live launch could make me $7,000. And that's on top of if you wanted to spend money on ads or do anything like that. You're stuck with this inconsistent revenue stream in your business, chasing these opportunities. Now, I literally had this happen to me. And at a certain point, my oldest daughter came to me and said she wished I could just get a real job so that I could hang out with my kids more. That was like the gut punch I needed to wake up and realize that even though we understand that we started our business because we wanted all these freedoms, it's easy to get caught up in not having any of those freedoms. You become caged in to your business that requires more and more of you every single step of the way. Okay. And that's just not how that works. We need to be able to have a repeatable and organic and evergreen system that delivers clients to us on a regular basis without us chasing and giving up all of our freedoms in order to get there. Okay. So I told you guys the story yesterday that I had 10 sales calls and got 10 no's in a week. Now here's the rest of that story. After a super long week of hearing those 10 no's and crashing on the couch, I literally sat there and cried and told my husband I would never be good at sales. Okay. This happened just a few years ago. It was the worst experience ever. And after that particular long night, I decided I wanted to get caught up in a show. I just wanted to go get lost in a show and go just see what I could get. So I sat down, turned on Netflix, and I turned on and looked for a show that I could just fall into. The show I found was You. And hands up if you guys have ever heard the show You on Netflix. Okay. Good. I'm seeing some yeses, because this was a show that like caught I had never heard of it. I was like, what is this all about? And I was like, let me hop on and see what this is. So if you guys don't know the show You, it actually started as a Lifetime show and didn't get any traction. It was actually going to be canceled. And then Netflix decided to pick it up, bring it onto Netflix, and literally it became an overnight sensation. So I want you guys to hear that, because something that wasn't working before on a different way that they had leveraged it literally was crashing and burning. It didn't have people ranting and raving about it. Netflix brought it on. They made it where people could binge watch the entire season. And that's exactly what people did. And it's exactly what I did, right? I hopped on, I watched You, never had heard of it. And literally all of a sudden I look over at the clock, it's 1 a.m. And I have watched a whole season of this show. And I'm literally a diehard fan. I was hooked on the show overnight and it became my overnight obsession. Okay. I want you to think for a second of a show that you've maybe just watched. You've binge watched every episode and became a die-hard fan overnight. Drop it into the comments, because there's a reason I want you guys to understand this. I want you to see what that would look like for you in your business. Because once I did this, I sat there one night and said to myself, if I could just leverage this same concept in business, my business would be flourishing. I'd be thriving. I would take off like crazy, right? I'm seeing some great ones. Now imagine all these people who came and watched You because they could binge watch an entire season. They became this diehard fan overnight. Here's what you don't realize. People have short attention spans. I told you guys we had 900 people register for this. Look how many people show up. This is exactly what happens in live launches or you just taking people through a freebie. They get super excited. You build tons of momentum and then not everyone shows up. They fall off. Things happen. They get distracted. This is what happens because people are bombarded with 6,000 to 10,000 ads every single day. And if you become just another one of them that they get excited for a short term, but they can't hold their attention long term, you will always be chasing that. Now imagine on the other end, just like You, the TV show I mentioned to you guys, if you instead could find something, binge watch it, fall in love with it, and decide that that's what you needed right now. That's exactly what my Netflix inspired system looks like. So I'm going to break it down for you because it's not just about having content that's bingeable. It's very strategic and there's a very clear pattern that needs to happen in order to do that. So I literally took the same concept of what I did, crashing on the couch, falling in love with You overnight, and developed this proprietary system that I call the Easy Yes method that takes clients from just getting to meet me to actually saying yes in under 7 days. So just like that example I used, that someone's sitting on the couch, they find you one day, and imagine that in 1 day or 2 days from now, they signed up for your high ticket program and they've said yes, they're 100% on board. They've paid in full because they have no doubt in their mind that your solution is the solution for them. Can you imagine that for a second? Like, imagine what that would look like for you and your business. Okay. So this is what we call the easy yes method. Drop easy yes if you're like, oh my gosh, Naz, I want more easy yeses in my business. I want to go from brand new people to people saying, oh my gosh, I need this tomorrow. Literally tomorrow is what it looks like. Okay. So what we do is we amplify the innovative authority that we talked about yesterday, okay? So why I said this does not work without day one is if you don't have innovative authority in your proprietary methodology, you have nothing to amplify. You can't just go out there and create random content and expect that to convert into leads. It literally has to be that your content has a very specific strategy behind it, okay? So spending all your time on marketing and business and chatting in DMs, all those things are exhausting. So in order to understand why this works so well, I need you to understand why all the other things you might be doing right now are actually repelling premium clients from you, okay? If you're hearing a lot of, I can't afford it, and you're hearing from people saying, oh, this sounds great, but right now it's just not the right time. The problem is you're creating tons of interest, right? You're getting visibility, you're creating leads in your business, but the conversions take too long. That means that what you're doing is catering to the wrong clientele with the wrong thing, and therefore continuously attracting more I can't afford it people, okay? So give me an afford it in the comments if you're like, I'm tired of getting the I can't afford it, because this is exactly what we're gonna reverse. I'm gonna show you how we actually use reverse organic marketing to attract premium clients who say yes and binge watch you and fall in love in less than 7 days. So here's what you need to understand. What most gurus out there are teaching you is called the ascension model, okay? Very simple and straightforward way of looking about this is that it's common 3% rule, if you've heard this, which simply states that only 3% of people who are consuming your content right now are active buyers. That's only 3%, guys. So if you break it down, it falls into 5 categories. 30% of people aren't even going to be interested. 30% don't have a need right now. 30% aren't acting on that need right now. 7% are seeking a change, and only 3% are choosing to spend money right now. So you've heard a lot of salespeople probably talk about the 3% rule. Now, the problem is we've been taught to cater to the 97%. I want you to let that sink in for a second. You've been taught to cater to the 97% of people that are not ready to buy. Can you imagine that? It takes 90 plus days for you to convert a cold lead. This is average lead time. Convert a cold lead into a paying client in an average of 90 days. That's if you're lucky, because it maybe looks a little something like this. You start a conversation with someone, you move them to your Facebook group, you go live maybe once or twice a week. You hope that they see your content, and maybe if they see enough of your content, they're going to convert into a client. Or maybe you've created a freebie of some sort, some type of lead magnet that gets people to go into a funnel. They download this checklist, and then over time, you talk them into one step after another into finally purchasing into the offer you really want them to purchase. Okay? Can you start to see how this is actually attracting the wrong clients? This whole time, we've been taught to cater to the 97% of people who don't want to buy from you right now. I want you to think that, let that sink in. That means that all of your hard work, your energy that you're putting towards this is only to actually cater to the people who are ready to say no, not to the people who are ready to say yes. Okay? So I want you guys to understand that we want to reverse this. We don't want to cater to 97%. We want to cater to the 3% and even the 10%. Remember, I said 7% are seeking a change. 3% are spending money right now. Now that 7% that are seeking a change, if they get something that's innovative enough that really blows their mind, they're going to purchase. That's why I say, do not move into section 2, which is what we're doing today, unless you've understood section 1, which is talking about innovative authority. So millions of entrepreneurs are spending their time taking people through these free offers or low ticket offers, going from one small thing to another small thing, eventually trying to get them to a high thing. So drop in the comments and tell me, if you were to choose one offer that you want the majority of your clients to go into, the ultimate offer, tell me how much that offer costs right now. Drop into the comments and let me know. I guarantee you it's probably not some $7.97, $37, tiny little offer that most people are starting with. Cool. Sarah says $17.99. Loving it. So how many of you are going directly to that offer and getting people saying yes? Drop yes or no in the comments if people are going directly to that offer and saying yes right now. Seeing lots of no's, right? Like it's a frustrating process to get tons of people saying no to the offer you really want them to go to. Because what happens with an ascension model, it literally attracts the 97% of people who just want a freebie. Because what happens is, just like I said, in this current state of what I'm doing in this live launch, you'll see that people are going through a free offer, and every step of the way, you lose a chunk of people. So let's say I have 900 people join. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll have 400 people go through the live or through the replay. And from that, only a chunk of them will actually get to the end. So every step of the way, you're losing a chunk of opportunity, which means you're hustling your face off to cater to the people who are not going to purchase from you. So we need to be able to shift to catering to the right audience, and reverse organic method is how we do this, okay? So are you guys starting to see how this can, maybe you've been doing this so far and you're like, holy crap, I want to stop doing this. Drop stop in the comments if you're like, I'm done catering to the 97%, the people who are not purchasing. I'm seeing Chelsea say stop, right? It's that frustrating feeling, knowing you're super talented at what you do, but you're sick and tired of attracting people who don't see it. They don't get it. They don't want it. And it's because we've been catering to the 97%. Okay. Not only is this leading to more wasted time for you, whether that's creating leads or bringing leads into your business, creating content, doing all these exhausting things, but you're also just increasing the people that are coming in that want to say no. So we cut the average sales cycle down from 90 days down to 7 days or less, because we focus on catering to the 10%. So we're not playing at numbers. We're not dealing with the funnel of bringing in a ton of people only to convert a tiny amount of people. We want to bring in the top quality people from the top and then actually focus on converting those premium clients. So this starts with what we call premium targeting. So on your workbook, the first thing we want to talk about is Easy Yes Momentum. So you'll see on there, it says Easy Yes Momentum has the highest conversions in the first 48 hours. So I want to explain to you what that means. People who meet you one day have already built momentum. They're interested in who you are. So you've maybe seen this. Someone finds you one day and then they start stalking you on Instagram or Facebook, or they go through your email list and they're like totally hooked on you. The first 48 hours, after doing this for 18 years and studying marketing in every sense of the word, I found that first 48 hours when they meet you is your highest conversion potential. Okay. That means that if we can get to them in the first 48 hours, the chances of them converting into a high ticket premium client goes up exponentially. Yet let me guess that most of you don't actually convert clients in the first 48 hours. There's probably a longer process that goes through it. So we want to convert in the first 48 hours. That's our goal. Someone meets you, they're already really high on momentum of, oh my gosh, this sounds incredible. And we want to convert them there. Just like we talked about with a new show on Netflix, if you had gone to a new show on Netflix and only watched one episode, you probably wouldn't be hooked. You'd probably sit there and say, okay, next, I have to wait till next week. My husband came to me last night and said, I have to wait until next week until another episode comes out. You lose steam. You lose interest in that thing. Yet if you could binge watch everything and fall in love with that show, you would be so hooked on it in the first 48 hours. That's what creates diehard fans in your business. So that's what we're trying to create here. No more long, drawn out sales cycles. We're not trying to spend hour-long calls on two-step sales calls that people do, trying to convince clients that they should work with you because they haven't been pre-sold into working with you.
Yeah.
Okay. They haven't bought into you. They just want to say yes to get through one step to another. What we want to do is get people who hop on a sales call and have already been pre-sold to saying, oh my gosh, I'm already in. I'm already in. I totally see what you're doing because they understand your methodology. So That's why we say it's all built around relationship marketing. None of this is meant for us to do funnels and crazy things that actually take people away, because your premium client is coming to you saying, I want a solution and I want the solution right now, not tomorrow, not the next day, not a week from now. I don't want to go through freebie funnels and all this other thing. I want to be able to say yes today. I literally signed $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 clients in one day who just met me yesterday because they can quickly understand what I do, super clear and concise. They buy into the methodology. They hop on a call and they say, I already know I want to work with you. Okay. I want you to understand that is our goal in business. It's not catering to the 97% who aren't willing to say no, to say yes. Okay. So step one on there, like I said, easy yes momentum. You want to be able to draw the right clients in, and you want to be able to make your conversions in the first 48 hours. I want you to make that first impression so quickly that people have bought into you. They're hooked on you for the rest of the time. Okay. Drop yes if this is making sense so far. You guys are keeping up, because I know I'm moving really, really quickly here. Sorry, this is going on a little bit longer, but I want to make sure we get through all of this fun stuff. Okay. So what we have to decide, and you've heard me talk about where it's not about relying on algorithms. So that's why when we talk about doing lives on Facebook or creating content on Instagram, we're dependent on algorithms. We're literally falling victim to the fact that hopefully, if we're lucky, Facebook will show my content to that person, or even an email list, which, everyone says try to move people to an email list. Even that email lists typically have an open rate of about 30%. That means only 30% of people are actually going to see your email in the first place. And not to mention, they probably have thousands of other emails in their inbox that are competing with you. I don't know about you, but I don't really like those odds. I don't want to play a numbers game where I'm constantly hustling my face off to stay visible and top of mind. Okay. So here's how this works. My clients use what we call strategic visibility technique, which breaks down to 3 pieces of content every single week. I'm talking 3. They create 3 pieces of content every single week that doesn't rely on social media. So you may have seen me talk about this. I have some clients who literally only leverage podcast guesting. I have some clients who only create guest blogs. Some clients who use LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, etc. It's not dependent on the traffic source. The traffic source doesn't matter. Your system is leveraged. It literally works wherever we take it. The goal is to use strategic visibility, which is those 3 pieces of content that are super specific and super strategic, to push traffic to your bingeable authority, which is your Netflix, this Netflix micro series I'm talking about. Okay. So that is our goal. We're moving traffic from whatever lead source we choose using 3 visibility content ideas that push us into that next step. So we eliminate busy work. It's not let me show up and try to be seen and create visibility and try to stay top of mind. It's getting people to you, and we use that innovative authority, that proprietary methodology to hook them in, like we talked about yesterday. And the strategic visibility content is hyper focused on calling in only premium clients. So drop premium in the comments, because I want you guys to understand we're not catering to the 97% anymore. We're catering to the 10% of premium clients who already know they want to say yes. They just need the right solution. Good. I'm seeing lots of premiums. Okay. So innovative authority, in the questions in your workbook, innovative authority allows you to convert interest into ready to invest clients in under 7 days by using a sales psychology infused mini series. Okay. So I want you to start thinking about that, because step 1 is you need that strategic visibility that calls in premium clients. Step 2, you need a binge-worthy mini series. This is where I call bingeable authority. We use micro video or audio content. So I have some clients who do this as a private podcast feed, and we use that. It's infused with sales psychology messaging to take your clients from who the heck is this person to, oh my gosh, I need you in my life. I want to purchase from you now in less than 7 days. That's step 2. Okay. So step 2 is make it easy for them to say yes. Hence why this is called the easy yes method, because we want people to find you one day, fall in love with you the next day, sign up the following day. That's what we're doing. Step 3 is what we call empowered decision making. Your goal every single step of the way is not to convince people to work with you. This is the wrong way of doing business, guys. What we want to actually be able to do is client acquisition has to do with less high pressure sales, but rather getting your potential clients so excited and eager to work with you that by the time they get to, I booked a call, they've already decided they want to work with you. Because we focus on the desire to help people with the visualizing pleasure and not pain. So if you've ever been taught these high pressure sales tactics of just keep hounding people, just keep following up, just keep pressuring them, just show them all the pain points, ask them why this isn't working, you've been taught to push on pain points instead of pleasure points. So the third and final step is you have to help people make an empowered decision making. This happens by literally presenting them with your proprietary methodology, with sales infused mini series that's binge worthy and takes you through the process and goes from hello to holy crap, I want this in under 7 days. And then by the time they get to the call, they're already pre-sold to work with you. All they need is to feel empowered in making a decision. Okay. Does this all make sense to you guys? This is what I call the Netflix inspired client acquisition system. So if you want to know what this looks like for you and your business, and you're sitting there and you're saying, holy crap, this makes so much sense. I can't believe I've been catering to the 97%. I want to cater to the 10% who want to purchase from me tomorrow. Again, remember, drop call in the comments and Christine and I will reach out to book a call with you to show you what this looks like. Imagine being able to sit by the beach, sit with your family, and be able to actually have clients coming to you saying, I already know I want to work with you. I just want to see what offer is the right fit for you. That is what happens when we leverage the Netflix inspired client acquisition system. So I want to give you guys a second to open up the chat with you guys. If you guys have a question, what we're going to do, since yesterday it got a little confusing, is put your hand up and I will call you in and we can chat through what this looks like for you. So does anyone want to put their hands up? Do you have any questions about anything I've shared with you guys so far? It's quiet. I don't do low ticket offers. No. So I don't do low ticket offers because I don't cater to clients who actually don't want to get results. So I focus on clients who want to get results right now. So the last 3 steps were, just to walk back through it, is step number 1 is premium targeting, focusing on the right people. Step number 2, sorry, yeah, I'm reading your comments. Step number 2 is a what we call bingeable authority, so a binge-worthy mini series. So my clients literally get a step-by-step script that walks through that. Is what on the call? So you have strategic visibility content. Michelle, I'm not following. And then step number 2 is using sales psychology infused mini series. So we're targeting the right people at the right time to be able to say yes quickly. And step number 3 is using empowered decision making. Oh, well, you need to figure that out for your clients, Michelle. Okay, any other questions? Okay, Chana says, super straightforward. I just still need to work on my methodology. Yes, yes. And guys, if you're still struggling with day 1 of not knowing how to create your methodology, just so you guys know, my clients and I literally create methodology together. So they literally walk away with knowing exactly what their methodology is. So that's why I say, if this is something where you're like getting light bulb moments and you're understanding what this looks like, you definitely want to book a chat and we'll talk about what it looks like, where we sit down together and working together will actually develop your proprietary methodology, your messaging, and your positioning that goes along with that. You'll know exactly what to say, how to say it, and who to say it to. And then we'll walk through exactly how you'll actually have this step-by-step process of creating your own binge-worthy mini series that's infused with sales psychology. So we literally go through every single step of that. You walk away with having that done, which is exactly what my clients have been able to do. So I have clients who literally came to me they're making $5,000 a month and going into making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 months, literally within 60 to 90 days, because they have all of this set up and they actually can support their clients in creating consistent results every single time. So consistent results is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, because I want to be clear here. If you have heard from other marketers just to create an incredible offer and just to learn how to do selling, but you don't actually know how to deliver on that offer, you've been sold a bucket of lies. You have to be be able to deliver on the promise that you give every single time. So that's why it's super important to be able to have an offer that delivers those results. And we'll talk a lot about that tomorrow, and how you can actually create Fan Frenzy framework and how that's the answer to being able to deliver on that. So very want to be clear on that. I don't want you to get caught up in the marketing schemes that are out there. Those are the things that actually keep you stuck in your business. Any other questions about anything we shared here so far? You guys are so quiet today. Hopefully you're digesting information. I know I threw a ton at you. I'm going to make sure. Christina, am I missing any questions? Oh, Sabine, sorry.
No, you're good. Doing a great job.
Okay. Sabine, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, hi there. I just wanted to ask, what is the mechanism of the delivery of this mini series? Because I've been running obviously challenges, webinars. I even have self-serve content, email marketing, a lot. So
Yeah.
what is the best way? Because you just said, don't, get a whole bunch of emails,
Yeah.
which are not being opened and potentially people are not going to buy. So what's your mechanism? Is it a Facebook group? Is it a Zoom call like this?
So we actually direct them to a bingeable mini series that's hosted on your website. So we want people, again, we want to be able to build that momentum in the first 48 hours when someone meets you. We don't want to direct them to a webinar a week from now or taking them to all these different places or even relying on email. We want to direct them to that as quickly as possible. And the good thing about that is we no longer have to rely on email open rates or seeing if Facebook can get us in front of the right people. We actually have that where they're going and they're binge watching it immediately. So we're eliminating a lot of the extra steps. So what I tell people is most people have too many extra steps that are making it actually where they repel that premium client.
So you potentially don't even ask them to opt into anything before they go and watch.
We do ask them to opt in, but honestly, we don't hound them with, it's not about a ton of emails because like I said, people who are, bye Chana, people who are coming in and want to make a purchase or wanting to do it now. So we just send it out so that they can watch it later on, but we're not hounding them. We're not trying to sell them. And then the other cool thing about it is we don't sell offers. So a lot of people are selling offers, meaning that they may have multiple offers. And so they're confusing their audience. This is a question that comes up a lot. If you're selling multiple offers and your clientele is constantly being bombarded with one offer after another, they're going to lose interest. You're going to get the wrong people in there. So we sell methodology. We don't sell offers, which makes it easier for you because if someone goes through your methodology, you're not going to be talking about an offer at the end. You're not going through a webinar trying to sell them into an offer. You're literally having them buy into methodology, which means that they're actually understanding what you do and the concept of how you do it rather than trying to say, how does this offer work? And this offer looks like everybody else. None of that stuff matters.
Yeah, understand it. Yeah, I have a 9-step methodology and I just take a couple of steps out from that and say, this is step 3 of the 9 steps. If you want some more information, get on a call, or if you want to map out your 9 steps together, that kind of thing, then we get on a call kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just the question is, how do they get to the mini series if you're not using email? It's somewhere. What direct message?
We use strategic visibility. So you're still going to need a lead source, and the lead source is the easy part. So most people think that the leads is the difficult part. Getting leads is literally like the easiest part of the whole entire process. So we actually literally show you how to create strategic visibility with only 3 pieces of content that can be leveraged on whether you choose to guest blog, whether you choose. So the whole thing about that is, most people will tell you to do one thing. So they'll say, go use a Facebook group to get leads. That doesn't work for everybody. Your personality is different. Your sales and natural sales and marketing skills are going to be different. So some of my clients are just really good on guest podcasts. So we build the strategy around that. Or maybe some of my clients are really awesome writers and they love blogging. Build the strategy around that. I think we're so dependent on thinking it's the lead source that's the concern that it's not. That's the easiest part of the whole process.
Okay, yeah, understand. And then just tell them, go and watch the 3-step mini series or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah. Any other questions? And yeah, the big shift that happens, guys, is when we're selling methodology and not offers. So I always tell people, Premium clients, the kind of clients who are already raising their hands and saying yes, that 10% of those 10% that we are talking about, they literally know that they want a solution today. They don't want it in the future or going forward, all of that stuff. Oftentimes when we're creating tons of content and talking about a bunch of different things, we're confusing our audience. Our goal here is to have one message, one method, one system. So it's actually about simplifying. So my clients who scale to 7, 8 figures in their business and do so really quickly, do so with one message that they're known for, one method that they speak to, and one system that delivers clients over and over and over again. They're not trying to like dilute into all these different things. So things like complicated funnels, freebie funnels, sending people to your Facebook group, etc., actually takes you further away from clients who want to say yes right now. So you're most likely going to continue attracting people who don't actually want to say yes right now. They're just the people who are seeking information. Does that make sense? You guys are so quiet today. I'm hoping you're just digesting information. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll let you go. Again, like I said, if you guys want to see what this looks like in your business, I highly suggest booking a call because we will actually walk this through. My clients see a 98% success rate because this is built around your business and knowing exactly what you need to do in your business to deliver the results to those premium clients who want to say yes right now. Okay. So if you don't have any other questions, I know I threw so much at you in a short period of time. So digest that information, come back and let Christina or myself know if you guys have any questions. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the Fan Frenzy framework. And this is one of my most favorite things that we talk about because Fan Frenzy framework is what allows you to get out of marketing your business so much and have your clients sharing your message for you. And there's a very strategic way that we do this to actually attract clients who want to say yes, like we said, but then once they work with you, would deliver on that promise and that they're super excited. Victoria, we'll reach out to you. Good question. You have to have certain things in place in order to book a call, but we'll definitely reach out, Victoria, to share more about that. Good questions. And again, if you guys come up with questions later or you want to chat individually, feel free to send me a message and I'm more than happy to answer. But otherwise, I will let you guys go. I hope that this was helpful to you guys and I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow.